Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Fitri Putri, third semester in English Department of STKIP Taman Siswa Bima, and this time I will bring a news about US Daily News. And the purpose of this video is to fill my final exam scores. Good morning, everyone. So, welcome to Democrasynow, democracy.org.com, the War and Peace Report. I'm Fitri Putri. So, Palestinian officials report 390 people have been killed and more than 700 injured in Israeli strikes on Gaza over the past 2 days. And one of the latest attacks in Israeli air raid killed 4 people, including Bassam Kab, the director of Israeli-controlled Karam Abu Salam border crossing, who've been working to bring desperately needed aid into Gaza. This comes as the United Nations report more than 500,000 Palestinians are starving amidst Israel's siege and unrelenting bombardment of the Gaza Strip. Arif Hussein is the chief economist with the UN's World Food Programme. On Thursday, Hamas ruled out any more exchanges of captives until Israel agrees to a quote full cessation of the aggression unquote. Meanwhile, Israel has for the 7th time severed Gaza's phone and internet connections. The Committee to Protect Journalists report more media workers have been killed in the first 10 weeks of Israel's assault on Gaza than have ever been killed in a single country ever an entire year.
Now there are about 130,000 people who are in catastrophic levels of hunger, meaning they're starving. In Gaza, more than 500,000. That is 4 times more. And that is what makes this totally unprecedented.
CPG said it was particularly concerned about a pattern of targeting journalists and their families by the Israel military. On Thursday, scores of Al Jazeera staffers held protests at the network headquarters in Doha, as well as the site of the school in Gaza where camera operator Samar Abu Daka was killed in Israel drone strike. The same attack injured Al Jazeera Arabic's Gaza bureau chief Wi Olu, who lost his wife, his son, his daughter and grandson in another strike last month. They stand at the Al Jazeera's office in Amman with a number of representatives from local Arab and international media institutions to highlight what Israel did in killing journalists, not just Samar Abu Daka, but more than 90 journalists in the Gaza Strip, who were murdered due to Israel airstrikes and deliberated targeting. Jordan's Foreign Minister Ayman Safar has warned the failure of the UN Security Council to pass a resolution on Gaza will mean dangerous double standards. As the US delayed a vote on Thursday for the 4th day in a row, the US delegation has indicated it would back a new resolution with watered-down language, which is set for a vote today. An earlier voted Security Council resolutions called for a ceasefire the US veto. That subsequent text called for suspensions of hostilities and ultimately now to urgent steps to allow safe and unhindered delivery of aid to Gaza's civilians. A Human Rights Watch investigation has found Meta's content moderation policies are increasingly silencing voices and support of Palestine on its Facebook and Instagram social media platforms. The 55-page report released this week by Human Rights Watch documents more than 1,000 cases of meta censorship in 60 countries, in what HRW calls quote a pattern of undue removal and suppressions of protected speech. including peaceful expression and support of Palestine in public debate about Palestinian human rights, unquote. France is closing its embassy in nation indefinitely amidst ongoing tensions between the two nations following the July military coup, which ousted President Mohamed Bazoum, the French ambassador to nation left. In September, around 150 French troops are parting nation today. The last of the soldiers to leave since the withdrawal started in October, but the military junta has not ordered U.S. military bases to close, where over 600 troops remain in the largely failed fight against jihadist groups. The Biden administration approved 2 more permits for the Mountain Valley Pipeline or MVP, which would carry 2 billion cubic feet of frac gas through Virginia and West Virginia. On Tuesday, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission (FERC) granted MVP's request to increase its gas transportation rates after the company estimated construction cost balance to over $6.6 billion, nearly double its initial projections. The FK also granted MVP more time to completely work on a proposed 75-mile extension into North Carolina. Indigenous environmental activist Jason Crazy-Big said in a statement, quote, FK decisions to extend MVP Southgate CER certificate to public need, which subject our streams, river, and community members to seizing of land and irreversible pollutions against our will with no proof of need, is a crime against us and future generations, they say. Millions of residents in Southern California remain under flood advisories today after some areas received a month's worth of precipitation in less than an hour. In what meteorologists call the once-in-a-millennium rainfall event, this comes as forecasters are predicting a snowless Christmas holiday for parts of Canada and much of the U.S. coast, East and Midwest, with rain and record hikes forecast in Chicago and Minneapolis. This month's climate skin test confirmed 2023 will officially be the hottest year on record, with carbon dioxide level in Earth's atmosphere at their highest level in about 14 million years. In Tacoma, Washington, a jury acquitted 3 police officers in the 2022 killing of the 33-year-old Manuel Ellis, an unarmed black man. The officers violently arrested and beat him on the side of the road, and he died while in handcuffs, telling officers, "I can't breathe." The Pierce County Medical Examiner ruled the cause of the death was homicide from oxygen deprivation. Due to the physical restoration following the verdict, Thursday, community members took to the streets to demand justice from Manuel Ellis. This is organizer and incoming city council member Jamaica Scott. Yeah, we're not going to sit here and cry. We're not going to pout. We're not going to let a not guilty verdict in a kangaroo court deter us. No. From what we know to be righteous, to be true. A Washington Post investigation has found the Republican LED crackdown on LA voter fraud has overwhelmingly targeted Democrats and people of color. The Post found Black and Latinx people made up more than 70% of defendants accused of voter fraud in states including Florida, Texas, Illinois, with registered Democrats more than 2.5 times as like as Republicans to be prosecuted. So-called elections integrity units in Virginia, Georgia, and Arkansas failed to obtain a single guilty verdict despite millions of dollars spent investigating alleged irregularities. In Michigan, former President Donald Trump personally pressures two Republican members of the Wayne County Board of the Confessors not to sign the certifications of the 2022 presidential elections after his loss to Joe Biden. That's according to the Detroit News, which reviewed audio of the November 17, 2022 phone call in which Trump told the confessors they'd look terrible if they signed the documents. After the call, the two officials tried but failed to resend their votes to certify Biden's elections win and filed illegal affidavits saying they were pressured. Meanwhile, Trump's former attorney Rudy Giuliani filed for bankruptcy protections in New York Thursday, just a day after a federal judge ruled he must immediately pay the $148 million he owes to former Georgia elections worker Ruby Freeman, and Shim Giuliani was found liable in ages for defaming the African-American mother and daughter after he falsely accused them of committing fraud as they tallied ballots in Atlanta during the 2022 elections, leading to a torrent of death threats against them from Trump supporters in his Chapter 11 filing. Giuliani listed debts of up to $500 million, including nearly $1 million in unpaid taxes. However, U.S. District Judge Barr Howell remains skeptical, writing, quote, "Such claims of Giuliani's financial difficulties, no matter how many times repeated or publicly disseminated and duly reported in the media, are difficult to square with the fact that Giuliani offered a spokesperson who accompanied him daily to trial," the judge said. The Kyrgyz Republic will observe a national day of mourning Saturday as the country reels following its worst ever mass shooting. The gunman, believed to be 24 years old student David Kozak, opened fire at Prague's Carles University Thursday, killing at least 14 people and wounding 25 others. Earlier in the day, before the rampage at the university, video shows a group of students balanced precariously on a building's open ledge as they sought to escape the gunman. Kozak was reportedly inspired by recent mass shootings in Russia. This is a former student of Carles University was visiting his mother. Her mother, who lived next to the school at the time of the shooting.
It looked like something unprecedented in the country, and I think everybody is completely shaken. For us, it's even worse because we're locals and because we are graduates of the philosophy faculty, and we got there sometimes to visit.
And in California, a federal judge blocked a state law that would have banned carrying firearms in most public spaces, less than 2 weeks before it was due to go into effect. Governor Gavin Newsom signed the law in September, which will bar guns and park playgrounds, medical facilities, places of worship, banks, and on public transportations. Among other places, Judge Carmel Carney, who was appointed by former President Georgia Bibas, said the law, quote, repugnant to the Second Amendment. California's Attorney General Rob B. is appealing the ruling, and those are some of the headlines. So this is the Democrasynow, democrasynow.org.com. I'm Fitri. Thank you for watching.